Hi everyone! In this video I'll be reacting to one of the early uploads from the YouTube channel The Game Theorists. I'm a huge fan of their work and I hope that you will like their videos as well. If you do like their video, please go over here there and just show support. Say hi for them, to them for me. And if you do like my videos, please consider to like, share and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you have anything to share with us. Thank you so much. Let's start. I think this video came out in 2013, right? So it's around 8 years ago, I think. Maybe it's around 8 years ago. Awesome. Yeah, oh, this is the long video one. Yeah, so I edited it so to be.
Alright, so for those of you who don't care, I'm Ronnie Edwards. I do a terrible sequel Edge ripoff called Digressing and Side Questing, which you should never ever watch. And I also.
Oh, don't say that. Your videos are awesome.
Do some work with MatPat on game theory. And I was going to have an introduction for everybody else, but since there's just so many people here that I don't care enough about to write an introduction about, I'm going to have them introduce themselves. So, first and foremost, we have...
Hi everyone, my name is Jirard Khalil, I'm the Completionist. I run a... to get a standing ovation. I'm just letting you know. I do not know any of that. So, yes, my channel's called That One Video Gamer.
And that was only the first person that speaked.
I do the Completionist, defend it, and why we love video games. Yeah, that's me.
Hi, I'm Andre, and I'm a black nerd. My YouTube channel is called Black Nerd Comedy, and I do Black Nerd Rants. I got a theme going here. Black Nerd Reviews, Black Nerd Interviews, and Awkward Talks with Girls. Both on the show and in real life. So, ladies,
why can I not top anyone? Hey everyone, I'm Gaijin Goomba. I am a complete greenhorn when it comes to everyone else who is here. I have a show called Game Exchange. I have horrible excuses of shows of Goomba Rage, which I guess just got started, sort of podcasty where I just talk about a bunch of stuff. And I'm one of the Game Theorists.
My name's Bob Chipman, also known online as MovieBob, the Game Overthinker, and a host of Escape to the Movies in the Big Picture on escapistmagazine.com, Game Overthinker on ScrewAttack.com, and author of the new novelized Let's Play Super Mario Bros. 3 Brick by Brick, available on sale here at the con, wherever you see me. Woo!
That's a no.
That is very clearly a no.
Now that's MatPat's turn. I can't wait for it.
There's a lot of things I want to, man.
Okay. Now it's MatPat's turn. I can't wait for his reaction. His introduction back in 2013. So it's like, wow. Back then he was younger. Let's see.
Hey, I'm MatPat, host of Game Theory. Maybe you heard about it like 5 hours ago at a panel in this exact same room. I'm not a published author, unfortunately, but on the plus side, I did work at a YouTube network, which makes me somewhat qualified to be on this panel and talk about growing a YouTube channel, so that's exciting.
He also is part-time on the host of The Bachelorette. So if you guys, ABC, was it 8 p.m. every Sunday?
8 p.m.
Great. It's phenomenal work. Tears in my eye.
Hi, I'm the guy who just knocked over the projector screen during that standing ovation. ago. I also am on a channel called the Runaway Guys with some other guys called Chugga Con right into the pre-song. And I'm Greg.
And I'm Greg.
I work with a bearded fellow over there, also known as Beardy.
You never call me Beardy. Beardy. You call me Beardy.
So I think that's the end of it.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for coming.
Bye bye. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. Nah, there's more. There's more.
Alright, so that was a very long introduction, and very ineffective microphones. Seriously, we're trying to say, can we get like diseases from sharing the same mic? Yes, you can. Yes. Alright, so this is the Getting Big on YouTube panel. I had the title, but I lost internet connection, so. So this panel is going to be all about how to go from 30 to 100 bazillion subscribers. I stole that from somebody. Flip me off. I stole it from you. You. Yeah. No, I said flip me off. There you go. Alright. Yeah. No, I had all these things credited, but no, I lost my hope. So, folks, at the panel, what things do you need to do starting out when you're at, say, 0 subs, maybe 3 subs? I owe subscribers? Who do I owe these subscribers to? I don't know who to pay them. Nintendo. And that's coming from an official Nintendo head. We really are. Take it away, Jirard. You have something to say. Okay, I guess I'll go first. You do. Oh, no, I was going to ask who wants to go first. No, you do. Yeah, go for it. Fine. Okay. Just tell about being themselves. Yeah, I think that's the most important. It sounds so cliche. It sounds like when you put it in a yearbook, you know, where it's like, I'm going to live forever, be yourself, and, you know, it sounds like it is, but it's actually true. I think the most important thing on YouTube starting out is be who you are, and you can be inspired by all of us, or whoever you see out there in the YouTube world, but the most important thing is to not replicate what you see, but create within yourself. Create something original. You know, if you're a fan of someone like, Igoraptor or Sequelitis, don't create Sequelitis again. Create something like your show. I know you joke that it's like Sequelitis, but really, at its heart, it's not. It's very different, a different structure, and you can see the parallels, but it's not the same show.
So be yourself. Be myself. And I like to watch their videos. Yeah.
If that's the case, then we would have a million AVGN shows, and everyone would be in the same boat. What was that? Which we do have a lot of them. That's right, we do. But you can kind of see which ones stand out, and why we're all kind of our own ways. So that's the big thing, is being true to yourself, creating content that you see within yourself, and not replicating what you see out there. And kind of along those lines, I think, early in the YouTube channel process, as you're thinking about what you want your channel to be and what what shows you want to program onto it, ask yourself the question of, why would someone want to watch this? Too often I see a lot of people, making a show trying to copy off of someone else's idea, or, coming up with a show that, is just them talking in front of a camera or something like that. But the constant thing that you also have to keep in mind is, is this entertaining? Is it for comedic purposes? Will they derive like some sort of enjoyment from it? Or is it educational? Or is it, going to teach them something new? There's a number of things, and the thing to remember about YouTube is that it's not TV. Every video that you watch on YouTube has to be clicked on. There is no, like, let me just turn it on and let it play in the background. Everything is very decision-oriented.
That's true. Why are audience watching the videos?
And so as you're thinking about, like, what am I going to program, ask yourself the question of, as an audience member, would I want to watch this? If I didn't know who this guy was, or, this was my first time on the channel. And I think that's, the top priority when you're thinking about conceptualizing a show. Absolutely. Right? Who doesn't want to hear an episode about farting? People love farts. Ask any, like, 7-year-old. Learn the damn space. I say this nicely, because people, we can ask, I'm sure you all can ask a lot of questions. And this is my first thing. When I started, there was nothing. There was no playbook, there were no classes, there were no live stream Q&As. If you were famous, if you were doing well on YouTube, you shut your mouth, you didn't tell anyone. It was hard to get information. Now it is free flowing. YouTube themselves makes an entire playbook and explains how everything on YouTube works, from uploading a video all the way to the analytics in the background, when you should do a titpole event video versus an evergreen video versus a topic video. Like, they have everything. So if you're still going, what's an annotation? I can't help you. Learn. The more that you know, learning is half the battle. I mean, it's just like, it is, guys. I mean, you just knowing your space, knowing what you're getting into, and understanding that there is, kind of going along with knowing your, what is your angle. There's a lot of people making videos right now, a lot of them. So you have to, and I'm not saying this myself, I just mean for the average person watching. You have to do something that makes you remember you. Is it your topics? Is it a wacky phrase? Is it a way you present yourself? Whatever it is, find that angle, but make it. Because we got a bunch of vloggers, we got a bunch of gamers, we got a bunch of people putting beauties on their face, eating cinnamon. But why do I want to watch you eat cinnamon? That's my thing, right? But seriously, a lot of people Cinnamon Channel, there's a reason why Glozell's was remembered. It's like there's something, there's gotta be just an angle about yourself that makes me remember your channel, makes me want to come back to you. But don't do Black Girl, I will kill you. Yeah, we've got one, so. Did you say tit pole? Tit pole programming? Michael Bay's new movie, Why would we want boobs to explode? As someone who's kind of new to all of this, really, network your butt off. Never feel afraid to take a shot in the dark and ask one of these guys, I have this idea, I have a sample video, will you check it out real quick, give me some advice? I sent stuff to MatPat, I sent stuff to Brown Floss, I sent stuff to the Extra Credits team, and I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for that guy right there, helping me every inch of the way. So, because honestly, guys, what do you have to lose? They don't respond to you, you move on. You have to grind and grind and grind in order to find the right people. But with that said, I agree with this, exactly what you should do. But at the same time, too much is a bad thing. and I know this sounds weird, but when I first started, there was no one. And one of my early inspires was Andre. Like, he didn't know that. I just told him that right now. He had no clue. And it's one of those things where, I'm a big fan of, if you make great stuff, people will find it. And if they like it, they'll share it with everyone. And if you need to remind them to share it with everyone, then you do it. But other than that, you don't need to spam every single person multiple times. And some days, if we have the time, we'll sit down and do it. But once we're done going through the first 1,000, we get another 1,000. And then day 2 goes by and it's 3,000, and then 5,000. The next thing you know, you can't check your YouTube inbox anymore because everyone wants to know, how do they become you? How do you become the next big thing? And the important thing is, it's a balance. You can't necessarily take your time, look at great stuff, but at the same time, you can't necessarily commit to every single person. Because there's not enough time in the day. Here's another thing no one's really mentioned is that you kind of have to have fun doing it too, because most people don't mention, but sometimes making a video can really suck. Like between the editing process and what you want to do, you will be like, why am I doing this to myself? So if you're not enjoying it, either take a break or just do something different. You're not technically locked into one thing too. If you're doing one type of video and you don't like it, try something else. You'll always find something you like. I've thrown out whole episodes of, can you choose here on this microphone? Pass the one, like, passing the magic pod, that's the talking magic pod. I've thrown out whole episodes in the past just because they were not up to snuff, and I was just like, do I want to pull my hair out of this boring piece of crap, or do I want to actually turn it into something good? And 9 times out of 10, I like going back to the whole thing, saying, okay, should I finish this one? The answer turns out, if you're not feeling it, they're not going to feel it. Yeah, that's on both of those points. Like, everything that Jirard and I do, we just have fun with it. And if it entertains people, awesome. But it definitely entertains me. Like, I'm always laughing, which is very important to me. And, and just have fun with it, because really, life is too short to do something that you hate. Like, I understand if you, have to do something to get by, do it, you gotta buckle down. But at the same time, take time to have fun and do something that you want to do.
And I would like to eat food while watching videos.
And, also, we don't... In our opinion, we don't release crap. Like if we are not comfortable with something, we won't throw it up. And we hate pushing back stuff, but it's always trying to release the best possible thing that you can. I think that's really important. Not throwing up some kind of half-assed piece of garbage. Your heart's not in it, don't do it. No, absolutely. And I think that goes to another point, which is kind of related to what MovieBob was saying, and Greg, it's don't water down your channel. If you're an academic gaming channel, stay an academic gaming channel. If you're the completionist, stay the completionist. The second you start throwing, Jirard becoming a beauty guru, on his gaming channel, proper shaving technique with Jirard. That's actually not a bad idea. How to not grow a beard with Greg. Matt, stop giving them ideas. But it's true, you want your subscribers and you want people visiting your channel to be excited by every upload notification they get. You want them waiting and eager to see your next piece of content. And so if you start watering down those upload notifications with random update videos, oh sorry, I didn't post a video this week, well then don't don't post a video. You're doing your channel more harm than good by saying, hey, I didn't post a video, but I had enough time to make this video about me not posting a video. And so things like that, you want to make every video that you release high value, and so that means maintaining a consistent high quality of content and also maintaining a focus on your channel. Stay in one direction. If you want to start a beauty channel, Jirard, start a second channel, or in your case, a 5th channel.
I think that's the reason why I love, I appreciate that the YouTube channel, the Game Theorists, so much, because they always bring out, it's not always, it's like, they try their best, most of the time, to bring out high quality, good videos that they themselves are proud of to show you to everyone.
I got 2. So, that was just one question. More of a topic. Yeah. Walk amongst yourselves. Okay, so Jirard kind of pulled this up like a half hour ago.
I'm so happy that Ronnie is taking the initiative to be so outgoing. I love it.
Okay, so how do you network and advertise without looking like a sellout or looking like a jerk? Is that possible? Because it seems like something you almost need to do these days. Jirard and we were approached by an energy drink thing, and those of you who know the show, we did it was the Pokemon episode, where we literally did like a joke commercial, but it was a real commercial. But we did it so like under the radar, people were like, oh, it's a real thing. And so that's like what we try and do, because it's helpful to have companies approach us because we can only make better stuff, but we're still gonna make what we want to make. You know, we're not like we were also approached by like an acne cream or something. We're like, how do we do that in the Completionist? Like, I hate to break it to you, acne cream company, but I don't think gamers necessarily want to hear about acne cream when they want to hear about a game. It's unless the character uses acne cream for some weird reason. God knows that Proton probably breaks out every now and then. Who knows? I don't know, but yeah. And it's just doing it creatively and in your own way. It's just like doing your regular videos. And then something to like kind of the audience. It's like take a moment and kind of realize, why do we do that? You know, because a lot of people will see an advertisement and just be like, screw you guys, you sell out, you suck, I'm done watching. But it's like, we can't get any better if we just put all our money in, and then like, that's it. You know, stuff takes time, effort, and money, and it helps to do those things. And to add to that too, I hate to break the Completionist 2 panel, by the way, I think. Damn it, Greg. Thank you for coming back. And thank you. Subscribe, like, comment, thanks. The big thing, too, to add to what Greg said, is that, how do I phrase this? Carefully, very carefully. For the YouTube world, when you guys are kind of outsiders looking in, here's a big thing. We don't make a lot of money. That's shocking, I know. Big misconception on YouTube. There is not a lot of money, even starting out, from day one to the, unless you're in the top 10 or even the top 30, you're doing really well. You're doing incredibly well. Everyone else, it's the Wild West. You're not making anything. There's networks out there that are taking huge revenue cuts, and they say they're protecting you, promoting you when they're not, and it's a big mess of deception. And the big thing is, at the end of the day, who is the one in charge? You are. And you are the ones who are going to get the views, and it's your content, and you're the one that's making money. But even though it's great, you can't make money off 100 views. You can't make money off 1,000 views. You can't make money off of 100,000 views unless you're consistent and you don't stop until you're getting those views. And it's a long haul. You know, I've been unemployed for a year and a half. I literally quit my job and said, I'm going to do YouTube because I hate Best Buy and I'm tired of working there. A lot of former Best Buy employees in here. But to give you an idea, even though I quit a year and a half ago to start my show, I didn't start making money until 8-9 months in. And even at that, I have expenses. I'm paying Greg, I'm paying, you know, the art guy who helps me out every week. Yeah, I'm basically paying Greg gas money because there's not enough money in YouTube starting out. So it's a big thing you guys gotta take into consideration. There is not a lot of money in starting YouTube. And if you have a viral hit, fantastic. Figure out a way to keep that virality going. Or, you know, think of something to keep you alive for the next big video. But do not start from the ground up thinking YouTube, you know, Hollywood is right there. You can just reach up and grab it and become the next best thing. Because it takes a long time. I know, Andre, you had a pretty long journey getting there. And yeah, I mean, if you were around when no one else was around and, you know, you're here now, like, I mean, obviously you got some experience. Yeah, there was oh man, Black Nerd, so cool, your channel that you did like a year ago. I've been on YouTube for like 6 years. Let me tell you something. No, I was around for a very long time, and it was a lot, like I said, there was no information back then, so it was a lot of, like, trying to figure things out, going on YouTube. Now, you know, yes, make good content, and, you know, if you gotta push back, but don't take like a 2-month break, because I can tell you right now, that's not a good idea, because internet time is much faster than, I was on CP internet time, and that was not a good plan. So, some of you will get that when you walk home. But yeah, you do have to make a presence. Getting to your question, because you did have a question, I want to make sure that, no, it's okay. No, but like with the networking and everything and stuff, yeah, like George said, it does take a lot of time. Even these people that you'll hear these stories like, oh, so-and-so channel has only been up for 8 months and they're kind of already. Odds are those people already had like 3 or 4 years of failed projects and failed channels that didn't work, and then they did the one thing that did work, and that's the one that we hear about now. There's a lot of trial and error with YouTube, and I do think there is this misconception that you make a video and then all of a sudden, boom. It's like it's either people have a success and they capitalize on that success. You have people that maybe, there's a lot of people now that don't have a whole bunch of views, but they just have this huge library of content that people are checking and watching constantly, and that collectively gets them a lot of views. So,
yeah, I agree with you because I also got a lot of mistakes, failures. Like those videos that doesn't get a lot of views. Yeah. Right now, I'm not even getting any views right now. I'm trying my best. I quit his job for 1.5 years already. Wow, my goodness.
I think you just really have to put your heart into someone too. If you are trying to do this to make money, get a real job. If you want to do this to get fame, rob a bank. Because you will be on TV much faster. Rob a bank, have a cooking show and hire slaves, whatever you want to do.
Rob a bank, slave. No, don't do that.
Now, I'm sorry, I'm getting long way, but getting to the networking thing. You asked about networking. This is a very, okay. Here's the thing about networking, guys. Be optimistic, but be realistic. with your networking. If you are brand new, you don't have a video on your channel, you just came up with a name today, you cannot call Epic Mealtime and Mr. Guitar Man and be like, can you do a cameo? They have no clue who you are. Yeah? Like, find people that are in the same range as you, that are doing similar things like you. Find people in your neighborhood, meet people personally, be friends with people. It's kind of, if you're friends with somebody, you're cool with somebody, it's a little bit easier to be like, hey, let's do a video together, and be like, here's my business card, I'm a man. It's like, it's easy that way. It's a different type of a process. It has to feel natural. People can smell desperation. People can smell that I'm using you, and so there has to be. I mean, we know what it is, but it has to be some kind of connection. It has to be a benefit for both parties in some kind of way. I love collabing with people who you don't have to be like my level higher. Like if you're doing something cool, I want to help you. I want you to be seen, but it does have to be something that's a natural fit, and know what you're doing. Like know what you have. Be honest with yourself. Get that Simon Cowell face on, and just be like, look, if I look at your video, there's no lights, no sound. You're playing Kanye in the background, and you're like, I can't do anything with this. It's like you gotta be honest with yourself before you put yourself out there, because first impressions can last a long time. And to kind of add that too, the minute you say, hi, I'm a big fan of yours, so I have a YouTube channel, that YouTuber you just said that to just did this. And they're tuning out everything you say, because that's the #1 most said phrase to them the minute they meet people. It's, I have a YouTube channel. And it's not necessarily a sellout, but it's more of like, there are so many people who want to make it big on YouTube. And you said it yourself, you want to be famous, go rob a bank. Because that's literally how much quicker it'll get you there than being YouTube famous. But if you do that, do not drop my name. Don't be like, can I add something real quick? The conch is yours. Yeah. Speaking as someone with very fresh experience, if you're going to try and network with like one of these guys, make it something that they're going to be interested in. Like, make it kind of relevant. Like, I said, yeah, I sent something off to Renofloss and that didn't work out too well, but I sent stuff to MatPat, I sent stuff to, extra, thank you, I'm blanking, under pressure. But it's because what I did was kind of like what they did. So, you need to have it relevant. You don't do like a Jackass video and then like come to someone like me or MatPat or someone who does like educational shows and are like, hey, so can you help me out? Because we're not in the same league at all in terms of what it is we focus on our topics. And don't let anyone, when it comes to like someone that was selling out, they'll say, oh, you sold out, don't pay any money to that shit. Because you will get it the minute you get noticed at all. Oh, you sold out. Yeah. You know, it's like, don't worry about it. You'll say, oh, I don't want to take advertisers. I don't want to put things on here. Because you'll say the minute that you have any kind of success that people are aware of, you've sold out, and assholes are going to give you a hard time for it. So you might as well not care. Now, John, I know you've been a little quiet, but I think one important thing is that for those guys who don't know, obviously. For those guys who don't know, ProtonJon is one of the first guys who did Let's Playing. Like, I know you guys think of Game Grumps and two best friends Let's Plays, like him and Slow Beef. These were the guys. He was one of the guys that started, and he really did it. And I mean, John, go into your experience if you can about how hard it is to promote a Let's Play channel. It's not easy, and it's not easy to become the next big thing. I don't know, it kind of depends really, because a lot of the ones that are big now just kind of came out of nowhere, where they spun off of like someone who's famous for something else. Like a lot of people, when they mention Let's Play, something like PewDiePie comes to mind, Game Grumps comes to mind, Smosh Gaming, like it's all the top 10 channels. But they always spin off from other popular channels like JonTron, Raptor. I guess PewDiePie's really the only outlier there. So, but nowadays there's just so many people just doing like standard game content that it's just so easy to just be caught and missed. So, like everyone was saying, you kind of need to have that original spin too. Like I used to do like a lot of just reactionary stuff right off the bat, and it worked out pretty good for a while, but after doing this for like 5 or 6 years, kind of everyone else starts doing the same thing, and it's like, oh, why am I going to watch you when I can see this guy scream and Slender for like 5 hours? So you need to find like your own spin. Like I started like breaking games essentially. I find as many glitches as I can per games, and people find that interesting. Like a lot of the guys here do like interesting stuff about games, like theory or just breaking stuff, or like to make jokes about. I'm not going to finish that sentence. Yes. Why would you joke about beards? Why would you do that? What's wrong with having a beard? It's a very serious matter. Some of us can't grow beards. Before you start mobbing more beard right now, let's just go ahead and finish what you were saying.
I agree with you, man. My maximum was here and here. Come on, here and here. That's my here. Don't even think about it. Here, don't think about it.
He was done. This is gonna go along with like listening to comments. I think is something that needs to be brought up, and because a lot of it can be amazingly caustic. Like I don't know if you've ever been like in that rage moment and been like, oh yeah, and you just throw something out there and you just don't even think about it. But then the guy reads it and he's just, if it gets you down, you shouldn't do it. But okay, I'll just tell you the way that I go about it. So if I will look at the good comments and everything, and I'll run into a bad comment. And if it starts off with like, hey dick, or like, hey loser, or something, it's just like, done. Not even gonna look at it. But then if somebody genuinely says like, hey, I don't like this because of, something, like, see, okay, well, see, yeah, if it's constructive, that's okay. But if they're just being a jerk, there's no point in even paying attention to what they're saying. It's as if they don't even exist. I will say one thing right now, constructive criticism on YouTube, sometimes very hard to find. Yeah. You'll find that when you start building a decent sized audience, you'll get a lot of people who will just like what you do regardless. So sometimes you have to go out of your way, and this is part of the networking too. Like if you network with other people, they will be honest with you. They'll say, I didn't like this part, or I think you should focus on this. So always, if you can find constructive criticism, always take it to heart, or at least try to learn something from it. Let's see what's behind it. Going back to what ProtonJon said about the Let's Play channels, there's actually, to pull back the curtain of YouTube a little bit, there's actually an algorithmic reason why Let's Play channels work so well on YouTube. So back in March of last year, so old YouTube, like a couple years ago, was all based around views.
If you say all YouTubes, that means it's like all YouTubes, you know.
Right? It was YouTube judged a video's goodness or badness based on the number of views it got. So if you had 1 million views, YouTube's like, wow, this video must be really good. Let's show it to everyone. And so, but what ended up happening were people were using misleading thumbnails, using boob pictures. Right, girls. Yeah, right, exactly. But what ended up happening was, even though people were clicking off immediately, you know, because it was some like sleazeball talking about his dating site for 10 minutes or whatever, you know, those videos got a lot of clicks, they got a lot of views, and so YouTube gave those channels a lot of promotion, and they grew quickly as a result. YouTube got wise to this and realized, you know what, maybe this isn't the best strategy for, you know, finding good content and surfacing it for, you know, the casual viewer. And so back in March of last year, they switched it over to retention time. And now videos that hold people's attention for longer and longer periods are the ones that get more and more promotion. That's both on a video level and on a channel-wide level. So if you have someone watching your video for 10 minutes, but then click to another of your videos and watching for another 10 minutes, that in YouTube's mind at this point means that channel's more deserving of promotion. And so the retention time thing is this big mystery. About that though, they're 15 minutes long, you watch them in series, you know, you'll put them on in the background while you're doing homework, while you're watching TV, while you're, you know, surfing around on other websites on the internet. And so you'll put together strings of like 3, 4, 5 of these 15-minute long videos on YouTube, racking up tons of views, racking up tons of retention time, which then makes YouTube give you more promotion. And so it's a cyclical thing here where, you know, you're driving a lot of views, you're getting a lot of retention time, YouTube is promoting you, which then gets you more views, more retention time, more promotion. And so that's why a lot of the top YouTubers at this point are Let's Play channels, because of this kind of like self-promotional cycle. Just to explain the inner workings of YouTube a little bit. That's not a theory, that's a fact.
That's not a theory, that's a fact. I'm gonna zoom in on this. That's not a theory, that's not a theory, that's a fact. He's not gonna say, but hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. He's not gonna say that, it's a fact.
I was going to say something, yes. I want to go back to the comments thing, because we were talking about comments before. So, I have seen this happen multiple times, and I'm going to just throw this out here. There are some people who think it's cute that I'm a new channel, not many people know me, I know what I'm going to do, I'm going to troll some popular channels. YouTube is a very small space, everybody. It is an incredibly small space, and we know each other. So if you think that's the way for you to get popular, I can tell you right now, it is not a good idea, because people know, and then people talk, and so you want to make sure that you have a good, let your content be your way of getting be your guide, yes, make it your way, so that's cool. And I'm also pro audience retention. When that happened, Black Nerd Comedy, what? Because I was getting good retention, but I didn't have this crazy number of views, and people were getting views through the reply girls and the booth comments. And when that thing shifted, it was people like, you know, no offense to some of my fellow doers, people like, man, I'm not getting the views I used to. You feel that, Andre? Yeah, sure, dude. That's terrible. I don't know what's going on. YouTube just broke it. The Cosmic Panda, man. The Cosmic Panda's a bullshit. The misspelled, copy-pasted, visit my channel comment is definitely one of my favorites. This video is to suck sores. You are to lame. Visit my channel right here, and it's better. It's you know, usually right below the the sneaker advertisement and good video. Click this link. This is a good video. Mountie handbags, $3.59. And yeah, that's a bad one. Go for it. No, you got it. Again, as someone who's really just starting out and really just starting to get to know how this business works, the one thing you guys cannot do when you start to get the ball rolling, you cannot take anything personally, ever. Because I fell into that trap, and I really almost shot myself in the foot real hard. I shared something relatively personal, something I hold very, very dear, and a very large group of people attacked me for it very blindly, very, very hatefully. And I wanted to defend myself because I cared about it that much. And when I did, I put it up, and I immediately took it back down because I knew how it was a big mistake when I really sat down and thought about it. So no matter what happens, do not fall into that trap. So kind of following up with how this all started with networking. Actually, I have a question for Bob here, because you know you've had a lot of success. I'm talking about you in the third person like you're not here. You've had a lot of success getting your videos and your content across a lot of different, very large websites. You know, getting your content embedded. YouTube isn't necessarily your primary distribution at this point. It was at one point. So would you talk a little bit about your journey there? Dumb luck.
Dumb luck.
I really wish there was a better answer for it. The fact is, like many other other people here, I started doing very random YouTube stuff in the very early days of it, more or less as a hobby, as something to do with, you know, the editing software that I still had from college and the useless degrees, well, at the time, useless degrees that I had from there. And it got noticed by, it won a contest at Screw Attack, which the Game Over Thinker show wound up there. That show's now on Blip, and a secondary version of it is on Screw Attack. And then someone sent one of my YouTube videos to the Escapist Magazine, and they liked it and said, do you want to do a film critic show? Yes, I do. And that took off. And I sort of, if I'm giving you like the sort of like backhanded Reader's Digest version of it, it's because I don't want to puff anyone's hopes up that like, you know, like, yes, that happened for me. I am the most recent person I know of whose story goes like that. I put something on YouTube, and a famous person, you know, wanted to, you know, give me money to do it for real.
Wow.
I wouldn't go around expecting that. You know, good luck to you, but trying to monetize and get yourself out there in an independent way is good, because it's not, the landscape has changed significantly. In many ways, it's changed for the better, because you actually can run a career off of a YouTube or a Blip or whatnot if you're good enough at it. I mean, that's the reality. Cream rises to the top. And to go back a moment to what people were saying about the comments, you have to develop like a dimmer switch for sociopathy, if that makes any sense. You kind of have, because the instinct is to care what people have to say, because we're designed to. But if you can, like, you know, have a little switch in your head that flips to stop regarding people on the internet as being people, you know, when you need, is to just, you know, the worst thing you can do is look down in the comments and imagine that these are actual people. You know, just think of these as, you know, little robotic trolls that swarm around and do nothing but seek to make your life miserable, because that's really what they are. Even if they have identities outside of it, all they do is they're miserable little people, and they exist to make other people miserable. To hell with them. You know, all they're doing is giving you page views. So, you know, don't feed the trolls, but let the trolls feed you. Yeah. Just real quick, is the camera still rolling? Yep. Okay, good. I was concerned. Thank you. All right, you're very...
That's true, that's true. Don't feed the trolls. Let the trolls feed you.
Great answers. I didn't want to cut any of that short. Okay, so... Are there any things that you should certainly just not do? We kind of touched on that. That was a good segue. Yeah, I know. Absolutely. Greg, you want to start this one off?
Sure. Just a short word to the wise. Because, you know, there is money out there to be had, and there are networks that want to help you. Just beware of what you're signing, and where your stuff is going, and how much revenue is being taken, and where it's going. Like, if somebody offers you a deal, and they offer you production, and then all this good stuff, make sure that, you know, the contract is really good. Because...
Read every single word, and if you don't understand it, get someone who does to explain it to you. It's incredibly important, and you have no idea when you sign it and things go south. At the end of the day, all they have to say is, well, it's in the contract, and you're doing this, because there's nothing you can do. Yes and no. Leave it at that.
Yeah, well, I mean, vaguely, I think the experience that we're having is, you know, we have a network that is deciding to go in a different direction of where we want to go. So we just kind of have to ride that out and move on to something else. And that's not something that we could have foreseen, but it's just know that when you get into something, if they say 2 years, you got 2 years. You know, make sure you really like who you're with and who you're going to.
It's 2 years, it's really 2 years. It's not like halfway stop or halfway. Just say, I'm sorry, it's 2.5 years, 3 years. Right.
Because they're a business. They're a business, and they want to make money. So, and there's a lot of people who will just sign anything. Because if you grab all of the pennies, it will add up to a lot.
Especially because kids as young as 10 to 14 years old are signing YouTube contracts with their parents' consent. And half the time, they're not even showing their parents. They're just forging it or just getting away with it. So it is incredibly important, no matter what it is, read the fine print, understand what the print means.
Now, that's not to say that networks are necessarily completely evil. Some of them
have
some good perks.
Yeah, obviously.
I only specifically met Jirard because of a network. Because we met on a stripper bus, of all things. But
2 words, Jesse Cox.
Continue. There you go. But, like, this thing too, like, someone will play dirty. Like, I was in one channel, which I won't name out loud, but they pulled some pretty dirty stuff, and they would try to sneak, like, other contracts on you. Like, they have good clauses, and then they'll think that they'll trick you. Like, okay, we're going to give you a new contract with a slightly better perk, like maybe trying to get more money, but now you've completely lost the rights to your name and yourself, and we can sue you, and you can't sue us. They will try to put them there. So it's a small thing with the fine print, but it's very important. And if they know, if you're underage too, with parent consent, without parent consent, like if they're 14 or whatever, they will hound on that too. They will even screw you over even more. Aren't there a couple channels that, like kids, they start like 13, 14, now they're 17, 18, and they don't even get any money at all?
Absolutely. The one thing that I would say, you know, I work at a YouTube network and I'm unsigned. My channel is unsigned. That being said, I love the network that I worked at. We treat our talent well. The biggest thing though that grinds my goat, and I've gotten lots of offers from lots of networks who want me with them, beware people waving the magic of the YouTube algorithm as their strategy to grow your channel. A lot of people say, oh, we're going to list you in the featured channel section along the right-hand side of the page on our hub channel, and you're going to benefit as a result. That is not true. That is not how the suggested video feed works. That is not how the algorithms work. You know, any minuscule growth you'll see off of that is not worth that sort of like commitment. So, as you're reading these contracts, as you're receiving these letters saying, hey, join our network, make sure that you're asking, what is the percentage cut of, my income versus what you guys are going to be making? How long is the term? What do I have to do to be able to get out of it if you're not meeting, the things that you're saying you're going to do for me? And also, how are you going to grow my channel? And if they do say, we'll give you algorithmic benefits, we'll make sure you're appearing in suggested video feeds, things like that, make sure they get into the specifics. And the second that they say, oh, you're going to be in the recommended channels, they're blowing smoke up your butt, because that is a complete and utter lie. So just be careful and ask smart questions. You are the valuable property. It's your IP, that's your channel, that's your creative product. So make sure that you're putting yourself in the right position and getting the information you need to make sure that you're protecting your own interests.
Right. You are your own IP.
So back in the day when networks were there was only a few, when you got asked to be a YouTube partner with or without a network, it was kind of important, it was kind of an honor, because
Oh! Okay, spoiler alert, at the later years, right, it's around 2018, around there, right, or 2019, there was a huge scandal. There's a huge scandal, including millions of dollars, I think it's USD, millions of dollars, from multiple different channels, and just poof.
It meant that you got advertising, so you got money. It meant that you had the abilities like having a banner and working with other people and that kind of stuff. And this is a gaming panel, so let's talk about a little bit specifics on partnering with gaming, because as most of you probably know, and I've experienced this, and I know that Matt and Gaijin, you experience this too. Copyright. It is a pain in the ass to deal with on YouTube. Whether it's a film, a video game, audio, even if it's classical music sometimes, you will get flagged up the yin-yang. It's horrible. And a lot of the time, the only way to bypass this kind of stuff is by going with a network. And now that's not to say that a network will take care of all your problems, because if you do get flagged, you can also say no to a contract. That's also a wonderful thing too. Like, if someone's approaching you, you got 1,000 subscribers, they'll still want you if you get 10,000 subscribers. They want you, and they work for you. Remember that as well. And it's like, yeah, I said, it's not this elite club. We're all one channel now, so your banner and all that stuff is done. So you know when you need to do that. If you're still figuring your stuff out, figure it out. If you're figuring your channel out, give yourself that time. There's no need to rush into any of that type of stuff. Enjoy this. Enjoy it. Don't do this if you're not going to enjoy it. You have to have fun with it. With all the comments, with everything, understand everything that comes along with it. But at the end of the day, if you still just like, whatever, because I don't want to sound like, never make a YouTube channel, don't ever make videos, this is terrible. I don't want to be that person. Like, I love what I'm doing. I always hate when like singers are like, oh, I would never be a singer. You should never try. It's like, because you don't want to compete with you, Beyonce. Kill me. I'm just saying, we're saying this as like we're veterans who've gone through this. It's like, yes, if you want to do this, if you got passion, go for it. But understand it's tough. Understand it's hard. Understand that it could be successful in a year, or it could be successful in 10 years, or it may just get to a level of just niche status that may be still great, and maybe still you still may make a living, you still may be able to pay your bills, you may not be rolling around in a fancy car, but you may have your wire on. So there's lots of possible different ways to success with this thing. Do not look at because someone has so many subscribers or so many views or whatever. That's the only. There's so many measures of success with this. And yes, do not take the troll comment seriously. Do not get that to you. Also, don't take the praise seriously. There's some people that get a little, oh my god, you might think it's fun. They get a bunch of those, and they walk around, oh my god, it's fun, floating around with the giant heads. So be careful with that too. It's like it's all, just kind of accept it all as it is, and just really super enjoy everything, and don't do black dirt. I think one thing that keeps Greg and I level-headed is that we act like we have 0 subscribers till this day. Even though we're almost at 100,000, we still have that mentality of, we're making great content, and that's what we want. And we assume that if it's good, people watch it, and if not, they won't. And I think that's been one thing to keep us grounded in our journey through YouTube is that, we create stuff that people love and enjoy. That's obviously why most of you guys are here in this room, because you've seen one of our videos. You've seen our journey, our process of where we've started from day one to now. And I think it's important to know that, things haven't changed since day one. We're still making videos. We're at panels now talking about the videos, but it's important to know that. That way you don't lose yourself. You want to add something?
True.
I was gonna say real quick, when you were talking about success, like that's good if it happens, but to be honest, that's like it was never in Jirard and I's mind, like at all. Because I went to school for theater, and to be honest, like I just want to create art. Like that's what I want to do. I want to entertain.
I went to school for theater. Yeah, clap for you.
People because I'm an entertainer, and if money comes along. And yeah, so if you want to create something, just create something to create something. Because that's the fun part. If nobody ever sees it, whatever. You had a great time making it. You had a great time just like uploading it. It's there. It's out there. Done. You don't even have to look at it again. But if you had a good time, or if you're trying to say something, say what you have to say. Don't have any fear as long as you're not being an asshole. Because it's very easy to be negative when it comes to the internet. So I challenge you to be positive. That's what Jirard and I try to do. Because you can yell, I can believe it. But you can yell and scream all day, but it's kind of hard to be nice all the time.
Yeah, it's hard to be nice when everything else is mean and evil and makes you feel bad about yourself when you see comments and whatnot. Yeah. My last thing is I have a movie idea. It's for The Fast and the Furious versus Transformers, and it's called Transfast. That was the joke that we were talking about when you guys walked in, so I finally wanted to fill you guys in. We've been
Transformers and Fast and Furious. Transfast!
we're getting the sign to actually be done for the panel, unfortunately. I'd love to... Does anyone have quick question. Yeah, the guy with the 2 hands, yes, you.
Do you know what, because like, I don't know if anybody else knows, but I don't know what the expected pay is for people who have, I don't know, like 1 million subscribers or something. So when we do make it, how much money should we be expecting? Not enough.
Not enough. Don't really, just to be honest, just don't expect money. Don't. And your goal will always be fulfilled. Shoot low. Another thing if you're with a channel or a network, they will specifically say you cannot do that. Because even in Google's AdSense that you cannot actually say how much you make, but they'll give you like, yeah, it's not enough. Don't turn it into a job unless like you got a huge following or you're crazy.
Okay, back to times one speed, because well, the last version of the video I think deserves to be shown properly at the times one speed. Yeah, let's start.
Which thankfully we all are.
I'm crazy. Alright, the guy with the screw attack hat right there.
Fine, just ignore my comments.
Oh, sorry, no,
It's
bring that time, don't give me
not your panel. No, sure. But to just kind of like trailer off of those things, you know, the last thing to say is, and we brought it up before, you know, ultimately we're all in YouTube's pocket. You know, and YouTube makes one change to the algorithm and channels that see 9 million views a month suddenly drop to like 1 million. You know, it's that fickle of an environment and of an ecosystem that, you know, if you're making, it's like everyone's saying, you know, it's nice to pay the rent, it's nice to, you know, have the money for the water bill, but don't expect to make your living off of it. It's a nice supplemental source of income, but don't put all your eggs in that basket, because YouTube overnight might be like, let's make a new channel page, and all of a sudden, you know, you're back to square one.
Yeah. Okay, you can screw attack hat, and then we have to go important.
Alright, more of a point. ProtonJon, I'm sorry we have to exclude you on this one. I discovered all of you, and I realize it's kind of obvious. I discovered all of you, and I've watched a lot of your videos, a lot through Screw Attack. And not just through the Partners program. I discovered all the game theorists through their featured on ScrewAttack.com. I'm just saying, guys, we, the G1 Nation, we're not idiots. If we find something good, we will show it to everyone else. Just know that Screw Attack is very viable for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Man, I agree with you. That is so correct. That is so correct. Oh my gosh. That's so correct. So that is how to be successful as a content creator, I guess. And that is not a theory. That is not a game theory. That is a fact. Thank you so much.